Hello folks, Typhoon Carter here, and I bring to you another Jimvitational 2 set. This is round 5 losers bracket action between Trainer Orange, also known as Jabba the Griffin, and Conflict. With round 5 underway, this means at least half of Jimvitational 2's participants have been eliminated from this tour at this point, and anyone still left in this tour has a real shot at making money if they go on a deep enough run. However, for both of these players, they have been sent down to losers bracket since round 2, with Jabba losing to Colin and Conflict losing to Starmaster in said round, and have had to fight for their tournament lives ever since, and they will continue to have to do so today. All of that said though, let's jump right into this. Tyranitar leads, Smeargle lead. Not the most common lead matchup. Tyranitar shouldn't be faster than the Smeargle. Smeargle's gonna get the Spore off here, and Lumberry is gonna be popped. And this Smeargle shown to be Salic Berry, and it's going to get the Spore off again. It will at least get one layer of spikes down before it is taken out by Sand. And that Tyranitar showing Lumberry, it was probably a mixed tar if I've ever seen one. Tyranitar is going to DD up here on Conflict's end, so Smeargle usually indicating HO. Skarm is sent out to scout the HP bug, instead is met with a double edge, and that Skarm showing no lefty, so that is a Thief Skarm, and gets flinched unfortunately. So Jabba off to a rough start against this DD Tyranitar, and Suicune is going to be the follow-up to try and handle this Tyranitar that is looking extremely imposing right now. And Conflict probably going to fish for a Rock Slide flinch again, and gets it. So the Suicune is going to be down as well, and Jabba off to a horrid start right now due to some pretty rough luck. And Claydol will at least take out the Tyranitar, but it will not do so without taking significant damage. And Swampert is the follow-up, probably an Endeavor Pert if I had to fathom a guess. So I would expect Conflict's team to be... Oh, there's the Aerodactyl. Now that's a pretty common pick. I would also expect a Gengar and then one of Jirachi or Metagross as the last. Jabba's team just a bit more of a bulky Skarmdoll type team. Like, Rock Slide's there, the Tyranitar is going to be taken out, and this Aerodactyl looking like an immense threat. So Jabba's team not having the best of rock resist. Jabba tries to spin there, is met with a Gengar. Gengar's got friend an Ice Punch. Ice Punch is the Blissey, and the Blissey, however, has to be careful of Explosion from Gengar, which would not be unheard of on these Smeargle teams. Especially because you need a way to take out Blissey, so Explosion is one way to do it. And what do you know, he does exactly that. However, Jabba did not have a great Boom Absorber. And Swampert's going to be the follow-up against the Zapdos. And Swampert's just going to wear down the Zapdos, try to get as much chip damage as possible so that the Aerodactyl can safely click Double Edge for the rest of the game. Aerodactyl taking decent amounts of toxic damage, and Double Edge is going to take that out, and at minimum, if this arrow does not KO Claydol, it will at least do significant damage, and Conflict will have this wrapped up for game 1. And arrows at 2%. So this was a very unfortunate game, to say the least, as the DD Tyranitar got spiraled out of control, as Jabba's Skarm got flinched down even though it had no lefties. You kind of see the effects of what having no lefties on Skarm can do. So the idea with Thief Skarm was that I assume what happened was Jabba was trying to look for Conflict to bring like maybe a very bulky team, and then use his own Skarm to steal the other Skarms as leftovers, and then use the Claydol spin hazards away, therefore win the hazard war. But instead was met with a Smeargle hyper offense, and I think this game could have been winnable for Jabba, but the Tyranitar just got out of control very early on. Alas, it is what it is. Let us move on. Here we are with game 2. Zapdos lead, Tyranitar lead. Zapdos does not want to stay in on this Tyranitar. Going to baton pass to the Suicune here. And Rock Slide miss early occurs, so Jabba gets a bit of a break. is met with a Starmie on the Smeargle follow-up here, and this Smeargle is going to take 90% from Hydro Pump. So almost dies, but gets nothing out of that. So that Smeargle was kind of wasted as no spikes were laid down. So Jabba bringing a very fast-paced team from the looks of it. Maybe with a bulky Suicune as a win con against fatter teams. Gets Toxic there. We don't know if this has rest or not. It may not. And Blissey is going to be Conflict's follow-up here. So Conflict bringing a very standard team here. Could be looking at a possible Big 5 Starmie build. Tyranitar is sent out here against this Blissey, and Conflict's Tyranitar answer is going to be Pert. So if this is Big 5, I expect the last to be a Gengar. And Zapdos is going to be sent out to eat the Surf all day. However, Conflict trying to scout out for a possible HP Grass or something. But is met with a Meta. And Meta gets a Mash Raise into the Pert switch. And Conflict protecting there just to get Lefty's recovery back. Meteor Mashes again. Swampert roars out. And is going to see the Tyranitar here, so it's going to get another Surf off for free. Dealing decent amounts of chip damage to this Zapdos. And Blissey is swapped out here into this Zap. And that is probably a Hinpar Grass, so Tyranitar is going to be a follow-up here, and Blissey gets the Wish off, so double healing move Wish Bliss is not unheard of on these kind of Big 5 builds. Gengar is revealed to be Jabba's last, and Conflict is going to swap to Blissey, scouting for Hinpar Grass. And T-Bolt's up here, Blissey just going to Ice Beam. Jabba should probably look to get Tyranitar meta in. Gets the meta in on this Tyranitar entry. And we got a lot of pivoting going around here. Brings the Gengar back onto the Skarm. Skarm's going to protect here. And, ooh, straight into the explosion. So, ooh, Jabba got burned for that. Probably trying to predict the Blissey coming in. And this is a pretty tough matchup for Jabba, all things considered. So, like, usually if you have a really rough matchup, sometimes you will have to take risks like that. And, oh, gets a crit Meteor Mash. So, Jabba getting some luck on his side. Protects here. Meteor Mash does not quite... Meteor Mash could kill here, does not. Instead, it just misses, and Skarm will get one layer of spikes up. Jabba going to Agility on the anticipated Protect here, but I don't think that's going to help. He will at least wear the Skarm down, but knowing how durable Skarm can be, Skarmory can just sometimes heal itself back up from like 6% all the way to like 40% if you give it enough chances to come in. Blissey is going to be... The Zap answer wishes up again here so that Swampert could safely switch in. But Conflict going to sack the Starmie to the Metagross Explosion. And Skarm's going to heal back up to full. So Conflict probably anticipated that, knowing that he still needed his Swampert. And probably saw the Starmie as disposable, or at least not the most important piece on his chessboard. Tyranitar DD's up here, so Jabba is going to need some luck here with the flinches. Does not get it. Zapdos is roared out, going to directly threaten it. I would just go into Tar here. T-Bolt straight into Blissey, and yeah, this is what I mean. Like, you have to start like hard reading your opponent, especially if you're in a really bad matchup like Jabba has going here. Like, just very tough to overcome the Pert, Skarm, Bliss type stuff, especially with a DD Tar as their primary method of breaking. EQ's here. Surfs. Jabba does have one trick up his sleeve, potentially, and that is the Suicune. If it is Crocune, as some people would call it, then that is one way Jabba could win the game. Jabba's saying GG's on turn 40, so is he trying to indicate that perhaps he might not have rest on this Suicune that was already toxic? Because if so, then yeah, maybe, but you never know. Reminds me of one guy in SCL, which was like Smogon's CG team tour. In one game, he basically he faked getting a misclick and then burnt like 2 minutes on his timer to fake a lure to like KO a threat against his opponent. So things like that could always happen, but you never know. If you're a Conflict, you don't want to take that chance. And right now, if you are Conflict, you want to focus on just making sure you're well positioned to handle this potential last Pokemon Suicune, even if Jabba says it might not be. Toxic misses there on the HB Grass, but Blissey is going to once again be sent out as the natural answer. And Jabba T-Waves to Blissey, trying to fish for full paras. And Jabba saying that he is not Rest Suicune, but I don't think Jabba's the type of guy to lie like that, but you never know. Anyways, Tyranitar is going to heal back up to full after eating that hidden power. And Jabba in game chat saying he would FF, but he can technically crit para everything, which is also true. Blissey going to soft boil here, and again, if Conflict's last is Gengar, then yes, he does have adequate ways to deal with a possible last Pokemon Rest Suicune. So yeah, that's why you see Conflict kind of just switching around, because sometimes taking a KO can be bad. Anyway, so the Suicune is going to be finally sent out here. So if you have something like Taunt Gengar, Explosion Gengar, or whatever, then you better show it now. What do you know he does? And this Gengar could easily taunt here, take one, like just taunt the Suicune, and then go from there. But T-Bolt works here because if he rests, then you can just taunt it and prevent Sleep Talk. And Conflict is going to just explode here, and that is going to do it. So Conflict is going to walk away with a 2-0 series win over Jabba the Griffin. Thank you for playing, Jabba, and Conflict will live on to fight another day. If you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating to Jimvitational 2's prize pool. And I will see you guys next time.